Well, hello, it's Dave here from Living the Next Chapter. Hello, how are you? Hope you're good. So, we're trying something. Putting it out there, see what happens, see if we get any bites. The podcast costs me about, $20 a month for my hosting is how the podcast gets to you. I have a website that costs, a few bucks a month for that. That's just our cost to get this out to you all the time. So, if you've noticed, 160 plus episodes, no commercials, no mattresses, supplements, none of those things that you hear on some other podcasts. Why do we do that? Because we are different. We take care of this all ourselves. Buzzsprout gave us the option now to add bonus content or shout outs or different ways to raise money. And you can sign up. You notice on the player on our website, you can sign up and you'll get something everyone else doesn't get. So I'm trying to figure out what that is, to be quite honest. But anything that you guys do to help helps offset the cost of creating the podcast. Now, I realize this is my option to create a podcast. It's not mandatory. But I'm loving these guests that I'm having on. I'm loving the conversation. I'm loving providing this for you on a regular basis. Having a podcast is a great thing. And if there was a way to make a little bit of money to offset the cost, I think you'd understand that I'd like to see and play with it and try and see if this works for you, A, that's most important, and B, if it works for me on this side of the mic. So, if you go to the link in the show notes and you're interested, you would like to help support, from what I see, you can cancel anytime, or you can up it and do more than what I'm asking for, but completely up to you. So, again, this podcast will always be free. Always. This podcast will not include commercials for anything that you might hear somewhere else. If anything, we're going to promote our guests. We're going to promote the things that we do here at True Media Solutions, which is actually me, by the way, and creating podcasts for you. So, if you're enjoying the podcast, thank you. I feel, quite honestly, that you've already paid me with your time by coming back to hearing the next episode. So, you paying me with your time is amazing, and I'm thankful for that. If you want to support the show, people have been asking if they can and how. Buzzsprout came up with this way of doing it, so we're going to try. Hey, we put it out there, and it's there for you if you wish to. No pressure at all. Cancel anytime. All the information's there in the show notes. Thank you for being part of the Living the Next Chapter community, whether you're a guest, a past guest, a listener, an author, whatever. I really appreciate you making time for us in your life. It's great to be with you. And I really do truly enjoy doing this for you. Yes, for you. Thank you for being part of the community. Again, all the information in the show notes. Let's see this and let's try this and see what happens. My thought is, what I'm going to do is do a recap of past episodes as bonus material here on the podcast. And give you feedback and thoughts and maybe some updates since the last time I talked to this person. And bring you up to speed and give you a little behind the scenes of living the next chapter. If that interests you, that will be available to you by signing up to the link in the show notes. So that's what we're going to try. Let's see what works. We'll try it. Thank you for being part of our podcast. I got to jump to my next recording. Love having you here. And until the next episode, thank you for your support by listening, sharing, following the podcast, sharing it with somebody that you love, and saying, hey, go check out Dave. He's quite all right. Thanks for being part of the podcast. I amuse myself. Okay, I'm going to stop. Take care. Talk soon. Cheers.
Mindshift Power Podcast, the podcast for teenagers and those who work with them. There's a huge problem in America today. There's a very large disconnect between teenagers and the adults who work with them. I'm looking to bridge that gap with real, raw, honest conversation, not held back by the chains of political correctness. You cannot solve a problem you do not understand. Want to understand teenagers today? Listen to this podcast. This podcast is for teens in the U.S. and Canada. To learn more, go to fatimabay.com/podcast or just look for Mindshift Power Podcast on any listening platform. I look forward to you being a faithful listener.